Rinor, thank you very much for being here today. Pleasure speaking to you. You have a huge experience working in airports, the best airports in the world, looking at different angles for the architecture, thinking the way people live, the way people work. And when it comes to working in offices, there are a lot of challenges at the moment to bring the labor back to the office.
Yes.
What do you suggest? How should developers go about designing and thinking about the workspace to attract more employees?
The most important thing to bring back people into the office is to think about the employee. They're the center of everything in the company. And how do we design an office that can attract an employee back is by focusing on them, their needs, and their health. And the best way to do that is incorporating them in part of the redesign exercise. Asking them what they want, how do they like to work, and then be able to provide in the new office design their needs. For example, if they don't like to work in a workstation, but they like to work in a lounge, they like to work in a terrace, they like to work in a pantry environment, we need to provide those new ways of modes of working to the office. And the other thing is we have to make it more human. We have to bring more natural materials, more plants, and something that looks maybe more like a home, more like a cafe. And we have to think about hospitality design and how we can bring that type of thinking into the office, something more warmer and not how it used to be cold and all about efficiency. Those places don't attract people back anymore. And work desks, stationary work desks are becoming less and less necessary. Office is becoming more of a collaborative space, a space for communication, for contemplation, for exchanging ideas, for brainstorming, and also more enclosed spaces are becoming more popular because video conferencing meetings are becoming more and more common. Therefore, enclosed, quiet spaces are necessary, and the most important thing is health of the employee. How can we make a space that has better ventilation, better materials, and more planting, more daylight, and so all those aspects of the redesigning process of the office will attract people back. I believe it will, and I think it will.
Very interesting. You gave us a very long list with a lot of ideas that would put employees like clients first, put them in the center of the change. And that's very interesting. My next question would be, if you think about a building as a business and you want to make that generate profit for you as an investor or as a landlord, how can we do that and still make money? Is it possible?
Of course it's possible. And just one thing to remember, if we create a space that inspires people and creates innovation, that will eventually bring profit to the company. And even Steve Jobs believed in this. He believed that all best ideas comes through interaction. And he didn't believe the idea of working individually at home will create new ideas. He believed in this spontaneous interaction where two people that might not even know each other, but they start talking about what they're doing and new ideas spark. So even though this new investments in the office can be costly, but it could make the company much more innovative and more profit in the long term. With that said, there are ways to do that in a low-cost manner. It's very simple, like by reducing the amount of workstation, turning those workstations into more collaborative spaces, and bringing more booths that are for video conferencing, like quiet spaces, bringing more plants into the office, so we bring more human touch into the office, and also involving employees into decorating the office. That doesn't cost anything, but once you involve them, each individual can create their own space, and it will be more pleasure for them to come to the office, and that doesn't cost anything. So it can be cost effective, but we have to involve employees in this new redesign process.
One of the very popular topics in the last few years when it comes to new buildings and developing new offices has been sustainability.
Absolutely.
Do you see any change on this trend, or is this no longer a trend but a new reality?
I believe it should be a reality, and I think it is becoming a reality. Sustainability, taking care of the environment and the human health should always be the epicenter of everything that we do, because that's the only way to keep going and bring more human potential now and in the future. And the new generation are becoming much more aware of protection of the environment, and therefore their own health. So it's very important, and it's very easy to do. There's a formula. There are bodies, like green building councils, that control the building industry, and if we follow those steps, we can always make any building healthy and sustainable. And it's important for the future, I believe, to reduce the carbon footprint, so we can keep developing even further. It's not just a trend, it's really something that companies are focusing on.
Perfect. Sounds very good. Thank you very much, Rinor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.